I hope all is well, man. This is That Square Sports Podcast. And hey, first things first, guys, I just want to dive in and let you know I don't know where to start, but I know where to finish. As always, with you commenting, subscribing, and liking the video. All right, first things first, guys, let's dive in. Obviously, Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. That's what you're here for. 4 years, $100 million. I'm a little late on this because I couldn't believe it myself. They went with a 35-year-old quarterback over the young Justin Fields. And, of course, obviously, Russell Wilson was off the board. Gardner Minshew also was gone. He went to Philly. He went to the Raiders. So, here's my thing, right? Obviously, I love Kirk Cousins. I think that he is a great quarterback, fantasy football-wise. He does disappear in big games. The injury is what it is for me. And for Atlanta, I know that obviously, yeah, you can come back and be this great QB. The Achilles injury is a lot. That is the one thing that scientists are trying to get right now, especially in this day and age with modern science. But there's so much to talk about, so much to look at, so much to think about. And for me, what I'm looking at is right now in the Atlanta situation, how good their defense was last year. And then, of course, this year they got Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan, Algier. So many offensive weapons. And it's so much now pressure, I think, for Raheem Morris that he just brought on himself. I would have loved the fact that Atlanta would have drafted a quarterback, or at least went and got Justin Fields, Russell, something like that, but they didn't. So obviously I feel a certain way about this. But in order on the flip side to make this work, Kirk Cousins is not as bad as people is making him out to be. Kirk Cousins has, proven that he can be a really good quarterback in this league at top 15 to top 10, sometimes at best. So with that being said, the mobility is not as strong as everybody else pretty much that they're used to having with the Heineke's and, of course, the Desmond Ridder who doesn't make poor decisions throughout the entire game. Kirk Cousins doesn't give you that. He's more of a stand in the pocket, delivers it out. Every once in a while, he might give you a few off-script plays, but that's not really Kirk Cousins' game. He's more of, hey, I can just stay in the pocket, let me be fly, let me be clean, let me be untouched. And the Falcons have a good offensive line. They have a really good defense. And in the division where, Carolina, they don't really know who they are yet, obviously with the young Bryce Young. Dave Cornales leaves Tampa Bay to go to Carolina. So now we need to find out what Baker Mayfield is really all about without his offensive coordinator, which I think Baker Mayfield has proved himself. But then, also on top of that, New Orleans, who I think is probably the most talented team in the division, just DA's got to seem to get it right as a coordinator and put it all together. This is something that I really think Atlanta has a fair shot. They could win the division. But as we talk about the playoff picture, when they're going against the San Frans, the Rams, the Cowboys, so on and so forth, the Packers, the Lions, things of that nature, I don't really see, NFC East, of course, I don't really see Kirk Cousins getting the job done for the Atlanta Falcons. That's just my take on it. Now, I do believe this. Kirk Cousins will light that ass up throughout the entire season when it comes to putting them numbers on the board. I believe Kirk will do that. That I can definitely believe. It's just the fact of the matter is that I think that to get to the next step, Kirk Cousins was not the guy that you need to be looking for. And you just paid $100 million for 4 years. That means if he does bad next year, you still got to pay him all this money. And it's just too much for me. I think I would have done a 2-year deal, something like that. Now the question is for Atlanta at number 7, the pick overall. Do you trade back? Do you get on the phone with Minnesota now that you've taken their quarterback and see what you can get out of them draft capital-wise? That's just my thought. Hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But, hey, congratulations to Kurt. He $100 million richer than I am. So, hey, drop a comment, drop a like, hey, and also subscribe. Peace. We out.